Hey there and welcome back to the club. Today I'll be showing you how to draw Agent Venom. So I'm going to start with the left eye for the top brow. From the outside I'm going to draw a curve towards the inside of the eye. So starting from the outside, curve in. Let's go to the right side and do the same thing. Starting from the inside this time, I'm going to curve to the outside, making sure they're roughly the same height. And then from here we're going to draw the bottom of the eye. So we're going to curve from the outside to the inside, going the opposite direction. So curving down, then back up. And on the right side we'll do the same thing. Curving down to the bottom, and curving back up to the top. Let's draw the trim around the eyes. So on the left side we're going to start up on the top, on the corner here, and come down, sort of taper it as we get down towards the bottom. So curving in, and you can see that I'm getting a little bit tighter in the inside here. Let's go to the right side and do the same thing. So starting on the inside this time, we'll curve out just above the right eye on the edge. From here we're just going to turn up the corners here. So from the left side we'll curve up, on the right side we'll curve up. And you see that I'm going from left to right, just helps me balance things out as I go. From this top corner I'm going to round up below the eye and just come up to that little point there. So curving around the eye at the bottom, and coming up and just merging with that point there. We'll do the same thing on the right side. So starting on the inside this time, curving around the eye, on the outside, and just coming up to the top. From here we could draw in the bottom of the face. So the bottom of the head I'm going to draw to right about here. So on the outside edge of this eye I'm just going to curve around almost like a half circle. Starting on the outside on the left side, curve around, come down to the bottom, and then we'll work our way up towards the right side. Just carefully merging that into the side of the eye. And we'll go ahead and draw the top of the head. So on the edge of the eyes here, I just want to do a little overlap. So the spike overlaps on top of the head a little bit. So I'm going to draw this up to about here. So let's start on the side of the head, curving up and making sure we keep our eye also on the right side. So we're just going to blend this in all the way around. So there's a little bit of an overlap on the side. Let's give him a little bit of a cheekbone structure. So on the side here, just underneath the left eye, I'm just going to draw a curve. Draw a curve on the right side. Okay, from here let's get into the body. So with all my chibis, I usually draw the body about the same height as the head. So use my fingers, I just measure this out. So the bottom of the feet will be here. Halfway between the bottom of the feet and the chin would be the waistline. So I want to start by drawing the sides of the body first. So on the left, I'm going to draw a curve. On the right, I'll draw a curve. But I'm not going to go all the way down because I want to draw the belt buckle. And I want to leave a little bit of space so that the belt buckle sort of overlaps on top of the body. So here, I'm just going to draw a curve, but overlapping on the left side and on the right, just slightly. From here, I'm just going to drop this down with a short angled line, and I'll connect the bottom of the belt, going right across, like that. Let's get some detail inside the belt. So I'm going to draw some of the little pouches. So on the left side here, draw a straight line, leave a small little gap, and then I'll draw another pouch. On the right side, we'll do the same thing. So making sure they're the same width, leave a little gap, and then another pouch. In the center here, I'm just going to draw the belt buckle. So I'm just going to draw a very simple buckle. From the top corner, I'm just going to angle in. On the right corner, angle in. And then at the bottoms, I'll just do the same thing. From these 2 points, I'm just going to pull them straight down, just for a very simple belt buckle. Let's draw some little flaps for the pouches. So on the corners, draw a little curve. I'm just going to connect the corners with a curve, a little flap. And then inside, we'll just draw a little button, a little circle. Just like that. Let's go ahead and draw the symbol inside the chest area. So we're going to start with the top arms first. Starting from the top corner, I'm going to curve in towards the center, 2 curves, and then I'm going to draw 2 angled lines going back out. From here I'm going to curve back in towards the head, leaving a gap in the middle. So in the center here, I'm just going to go straight up with 2 lines. I'm going to angle them in. Now from here I'm just going to angle back down just slightly, come down, 2 straight lines, and then connect it with a straight line across. We're going to thicken up the arms. So up here I'm just going to step down, curve in. You can see I leave a little gap here, go down, just follow that same line, and then curve this back in. Do the same thing on the right side. So just almost like tracing out that arm on the top. From here let's draw the second set of arms. So coming across again with the curve, we'll go up in an angle, just slight angle going inwards. Then we'll curve this to the outside of the body. And again, we're just going to trace this backwards. So starting on the outside, starting off a little bit thicker, and then coming in really thin. Do the same thing on the right side. That. And then one last set of arms. I'm going to go down in an angle, come across with a short line, just hoping I have enough space here, and then just angle them out in towards the belt. We'll trace this back out again, back up. And then the final part is the bottom of the body. I'm just going to curve the bottom corners in, and then connect those 2 points with a curve. Let's draw the little neck guard here. So I'm just going to keep this very simple. So just underneath the chin, I'll draw a curve across, come down in an angle on both sides, and then just straight across underneath the arms. And then up here, I'm just going to draw just the side of the collar, just tucked in underneath like that. Okay, so we got the body. Let's get into the arms. So he's got these big shoulder pads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right about here and draw the bottom edge of the shoulder pad with a curve. It goes down in the middle and out. Then we're going to curve the tops. So curve and tuck this in underneath the head, like that. From here, let's draw in some spikes. So along this edge, I'm going to draw 2 big spikes, almost like V shapes coming out like that. I want to draw one in here, so I'm just going to draw that same angled V shape, and then connecting those 2 points with a curve to make it look like it's actually stuck in the shoulder pad. Let's go up to the right side and do the same thing. Draw 2 spikes. I'll draw one in the middle here, connect those 2 points with a curve. Okay, from here we're going to draw in the arms. So I'm just going to have the arms drop down in fists. So we're going to start with the inside part of the arm first. So starting up here, we're going to curve down in towards the wrist. From here I want to draw in the thumb knuckle. So we're going to do a slight overlap and draw a curve like that, almost like a half circle. We're going to finish off this corner with a little bracket. From here I'm going to step over and I'm going to swirl around that bracket for the first finger. We're going to move over and do an overlap for the second finger. Now for the third one, I want to give him some big gloves, so the forearms are quite large. So I'm going to come and do an overlap, come up and just swirl around like this. From this point, I want to curve in the opposite direction in towards the inside of the arm. From this point, I'm just going to tuck this in underneath the shoulder pad, leaving a little overlap on the shoulder pad there. We're going to draw a little trim just below the shoulder pad, so just following that same curve. We'll draw some spikes along the gloves. So here I'm just going to draw a curved spike. So it's going to curve back and curve out, almost like a shark fin coming across like that. And here we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to draw a curve back, curve the front, and then connecting those 2 points with the curve. Let's draw the same thing on the right side. So starting at the same height, we're going to curve down towards the wrist. We'll do an overlap for the thumb. We'll draw a little bracket. Now doing an overlap, we'll swirl around for the first finger, overlap the second finger. Now the third one, we want to come really wide out and then bring that back in to about there, that same height. From here we're going to curve this back in towards the inside of the arm. Now from this point, I'm going to curve up and tuck this in underneath the shoulder pad, leaving a little overlap there. Let's do a little trim, and then we're going to draw those little fins or those little spikes, those curved spikes along the glove line on the outside, and then we'll draw one inside the glove, connecting those 2 points with a curve. Okay, so we got the arms and the body. Let's get into the legs. So again, same height head, same height body. So the bottom of the feet will come down to here. In the middle here, I'm going to draw the lower torso first. So just starting it off with a little curve like that. On the inside left leg, we're going to step in and draw a short little curve coming down towards the back of the knees. Do the same thing on the right side. Now from here, we're going to reverse the curve because he's got some pretty big boots. I'm just going to curve all the way down to the heels. Let's draw the span of the feet. So from here I'm going to curve all the way towards the toe on the left and the toe on the right. So I just want to make sure they're roughly the same length. From here let's draw on the top of the feet. So from the toe I want to draw the curve for the top of the foot aiming towards that heel, but I'm not going to close it off. I'm just going to come in around there, and then from this point I want to reverse curve this, going up and towards the back of the leg. Do the same thing on the right side. Starting from the inside this time, we're just mirroring what we see on the left side. We'll draw the back, and then we'll draw the top of the foot, curving towards the toe. We'll draw a little sole, so we're just going to trace out the bottom of the foot, just above it. A very simple sole. And then we're going to draw some detail along the leg. So on top of the foot here, on top of this curve, I'm just going to draw a little curve like this. And connect that point to the back of that kneecap with a curve like that. Curve down, and curve down towards the top of the foot. Now let's draw on a knee pad. From this corner, I'm going to curve it out. From here, I'm just going to curve back, leaving a little space there. On the right side, we'll do the same thing. So curving out the front of the kneecap, and curving back down. And then from the hips, I'm going to curve right on top of the knee pad. So stepping in a little bit from the belt, we'll curve down and connect to that knee pad. Let's add some spikes to the knee pad. So on the side here, on the left side, again, I'm going to draw those little V shapes. We'll draw one more on the inside, connecting it with a curve. Do the same thing on the right side. One on the inside, and curving that out. We're going to draw the little pants. So on the corner of the hip, we'll curve in towards the lower torso. Do the same thing on the right side. We're going to add 2 stripes along the bottom of the leg. 2 stripes like this. And on the right side. And to finish this off, I'm going to add some tentacles in the back. So I'm going to draw 4 of them. So 2 coming up, 2 coming down this way. So right behind the shoulder pad, I'm just going to draw a curve that goes like that. From here, I want to draw what looks like little calipers on the end. So from here, I'm going to curve it back. Now I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to draw a curve in the opposite direction with a short curve. I'm going to curve this back up. Now I'm just going to fold this line back, but I'm going to taper it. So it's going to get a little bit thinner as it gets towards the body. Like that. Let's do the same thing on the right side. So right here, just going to curve around. And they don't have to match perfectly. It's actually kind of cool if they're sort of offset a little bit. Curve back. Do a short curve in the opposite direction. Curve this underneath. And then again, following that curve and just tapering it as we get towards the body. Let's draw 2 more. So these ones are going to get tucked in behind the arm and kind of come out here. So starting behind the hip, I'll start this curve off, going up and out like that. I'm going to curve this back, curve in the opposite direction with a short curve, and then I'll pull this back in, and then again, following that curve behind the hand and right in behind the body. We'll draw 1 more over here, starting on the belt, curving behind the hand. I'm going to make this one come up a little higher, come out like that, curve this back, curve this forward with a short curve, tuck this back in, and then again following that curve behind the hand, in behind the belt. And that is pretty much it. There we have it. There's Agent Venom. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.